Panic, fear, confusion, people running for their lives, buildings shaking, debris lying across the streets, and desperate cries for help as rescuers race against time to reach communities cut off from the outside world. Indonesia is once again battling a devastating earthquake crisis, and this time the danger is not coming from just one. In the space of just 1 week, Indonesia has been jolted by 4 significant earthquakes. The latest struck off the island of Sumatra on Tuesday. A magnitude 6.1 earthquake hit at a depth of 29 kilometers, according to Indonesia's geophysics agency. For people already shaken by the disasters of the past few days, the latest tremor has brought back the fear all over again. Because Indonesia is still dealing with the deadly aftermath of a much stronger earthquake that struck just days ago. On August 15th, Indonesia was rocked by 2 powerful earthquakes within just hours of each other. One of them was a devastating magnitude 7.7 earthquake near Flores Island. The powerful quake triggered a tsunami warning and was followed by a large number of aftershocks. The disaster caused widespread destruction across parts of Indonesia, and the human toll continues to rise. The latest reports say at least 68 people have died. More than 200 people have been injured. Thousands of residents have been forced to leave their homes and seek shelter at evacuation sites. And as rescuers continue their operations, more than 9,000 people were staying at evacuation centers by Sunday. Around 500 of them were in Nagakeo. But even after escaping the main earthquake, people are still being forced to confront another threat: aftershocks. In Maumere, residents fled buildings and rushed into open areas on Monday after a powerful 5.7 magnitude aftershock shook eastern Indonesia. The tremor came just 2 days after the deadly magnitude 7.7 earthquake that devastated Flores Island. Footage from the Sylvia Hotel captures the panic. Hotel guests can be seen rushing out of the building moments after the aftershock. People gather outside, waiting for the shaking to stop, while hotel staff assess the situation. For those inside, there was no time to think. They simply ran. Hotel staff member Richard described the tremor as a strong aftershock. And for people already traumatized by the earlier earthquake, even another strong tremor is enough to send a wave of fear through entire communities. Among those receiving treatment is earthquake survivor Carlina. Her story captures just how terrifying those moments were. When the earthquake struck on Saturday, Carlina managed to escape the building. But once she was outside, she realized something horrifying. Her child was still inside. It is a moment that reflects the panic experienced by thousands of families as the ground began shaking beneath them.
Waktu gempa kan saya sudah lari. Jadi ingat anak di dalam belum keluar, soalnya masih pagi tuh, masih tidur. Jadi saya masuk, keluar begitu gempanya sangat besar, jadi tidak seimbang lagi loncatnya.
For many survivors, getting out of a building was only the beginning. They now have to find shelter. They have to search for missing loved ones. And they have to live with the fear that another tremor could strike at any moment. Across the affected region, the destruction is widespread. Aerial footage from Nagakeo Regency shows structural damage across communities. Basarnas personnel are working to bring supplies to people who desperately need them. They have been seen unloading aid, speaking with residents at temporary camps, and navigating difficult access routes to reach affected communities. But getting help to some areas is proving extremely difficult. Landslides have blocked roads. Communication problems have made it harder to stay connected. Basarna's Director of Preparedness, Nor Isrodin Muchlisin, has said reinforcements and aerial resources are being sent to support the ongoing operations. The rescue effort is continuing across the disaster zone, but the scale of the challenge is enormous. Several have been injured, thousands remain displaced, and the region continues to experience aftershocks. And that raises another frightening question. Could more powerful aftershocks follow? After a large earthquake, the surrounding Earth's crust continues adjusting. That process produces aftershocks. Most of these aftershocks are smaller than the main earthquake. But smaller does not necessarily mean harmless. Some aftershocks can still be strong enough to damage buildings that have already been weakened by the main quake. And that is what makes the situation particularly dangerous in Flores. Communities there are still recovering from the magnitude 7.7 earthquake. Buildings have already been damaged. Infrastructure has been disrupted. People are living in evacuation centers. And rescuers are still trying to reach communities cut off by landslides and blocked roads. So another strong aftershock could create an entirely new emergency. And now, the latest magnitude 6.1 earthquake off Sumatra has added another major tremor to Indonesia's crisis. Indonesia remains on high alert. But why is this country so vulnerable to earthquakes in the first place? The answer lies deep beneath Indonesia's islands. Indonesia sits at the meeting point of four major tectonic plates: the Australian plate, the Sunda plate, the Pacific plate, and the Philippine Sea plate. These massive plates are constantly moving and interacting beneath the region. And that geological setting makes Indonesia one of the most earthquake-prone regions on Earth. For scientists, the earthquakes are a consequence of this complex tectonic environment. But for people on the ground, the science is much harder to think about. For them, it is the sound of buildings shaking. It is the sight of debris falling around them. It is the rush to open spaces. It is the fear of not knowing whether their homes are still standing. It is parents searching for their children. It is patients being treated under emergency tents. And it is rescuers trying to reach people before it is too late. The latest 6.1 magnitude tremor is another reminder of just how unpredictable the region can be. For now, rescuers continue to battle blocked roads, landslides, and communication problems. Emergency teams are being reinforced, supplies are being moved, patients are being treated, and displaced families are waiting for a chance to return home. But as aftershocks continue to rattle the region, one thing remains clear. For the people of Flores and other affected communities, the earthquake may have lasted minutes, but the struggle to recover could last much, much longer. And for Indonesia, sitting on one of the world's most active tectonic zones, the question is not simply when the shaking will stop. It is whether the communities already hit hardest can withstand whatever comes next.